Welcome to Codebreakers, Women in Tech, the podcast where we delve into the world of technology and innovation. Join me, Candice, as I meet inspiring women from the southwest of England's tech ecosystem and dive into the journeys of tech leaders who are breaking barriers and paving the way for future generations.
Welcome back to Codebreakers, Women in Tech. I'm delighted to have Roxana on the show with me today. Roxana is a senior support manager at Boomi, a software company that specialises in integration platform as a service. She has over a decade of experience in product support and team management in the tech sector. Her passion for technology also extends to her role as a STEM ambassador, and she's passionate about supporting young people to develop the skills in the future. Welcome to the show. Could you tell us a little bit about your own journey in tech? Because I know you initially studied chemical engineering.
Sure. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me. What a nice intro. So I've been in this industry, let's say, for nearly 15 years now. I still can't believe it because I still feel like I'm 25 or 27. But I've started myself in the tech industry, basically with like a first line tech support. So like the first piece of the foundation, let's say. I did graduate indeed for chemical engineering. My dream was to work in a lab and, dealing with all the science, with chemistry, because I was really passionate about it. That's what I went to that university. I'm originally from Romania, so it was a bit challenging to find a job as a postgrad after the university. So with all my research and all my, looking around for a job, it helped me because I was speaking at that time multiple languages as well. So I found a job in IT, had no clue what the company was doing, had no clue what that role was all about. Because of the language spoken, they decided to invest in me and to invest in the training. And then they took me throughout all the journey, because that's where I became a leader and later a senior manager in that company as well. I think it's useful for everyone to go through every level, from an entry level to a mid-level to however they want to grow in that company, because that's what it shaped me, not just in the tech business, in the tech industry, but all the great people that I got to work with, the great people that I got to learn from. So here I am 15 years later, having worked with lots of different technologies, mainly in application support, and been like in the leadership role for the last 9 years. And I'm happy that I got to grow into this, into a role that, I can then shape other people's careers.
So you've definitely tried a few different areas in the IT sector then. So you mentioned there that you mainly in application support. Is that the kind of area of IT that you're particularly interested in? And how did you find that you had that area of interest in the breadth of IT knowledge that is out there?
It was part of the journey, right? So with the majority of my career, I spent it in Capgemini. So that's what I grew from, like a junior level, mid-level, senior leader, and a manager. And then when I moved to Oracle later on, it was like, again, a complete different thing. And I was approached by the company because they were looking for a leader to build a new team for a brand new office open back in my hometown. If I would have read the job specs, probably I wouldn't have applied, because it was something out of my comfort zone. It was something I wasn't used as a technology for the previous 7 years. But then they valued that passion, that drive, the leadership experience, and they said, look, if you come with all this package and you can shape this team and you can recruit all the team and have the same successful team that you are leading now, everything else you can learn. So it's not necessarily, it was something that I thought I would be good at, but it's a matter like how adaptable you are. Like never, step into something new and you'll be like, oh shoot, like it sounds like a big challenge, but I might not be, the person for it. I'm like, no, I'll see how it goes. I'll put all my effort in, and if it's going to go the right way, and if I continue to like it, that's fine. If I don't like it, then that's my choice to, to figure something else.
I'd really like to delve into the company Boomi. Would you mind just giving us a bit of a summary of who Boomi are and your role in Boomi as well?
Boomi is the largest, like you said, iPaaS model out there in the industry globally. So integration platform as a service. Not to make it sound like a sales pitch, but it's an integration platform, which means we can work with various aspects of our customers' business that want to integrate everything in one place. Just a very quick example, if you work with 3-4 different vendors, for example, and you have to maintain 3-4 different ways of doing business with those vendors, they can use our platform, bring it all under one umbrella, and then it's all managed from there. When I joined, I think it was about 1,200 employees. I joined in a small office here in Exeter, the Science Park. It was an interesting switch for me because I thought I can bring, like, all my previous experience, my expertise, obviously leading all these teams before, coming from a different country, coming with a different, maybe way of doing things, or maybe with a different vibe altogether, let's say. And it was nice that switch from, like a very big corporation to a startup, and then to be able to use all my previous experience to build the teams again, to work globally, to, I don't know, propose a lot of areas of improvement, and work with my peers globally, to overcome all the challenges that a startup company can have. And it has been a great journey from that perspective. It's a nice place to work because it allows us a lot of flexibility. You were talking about the company culture earlier. To me, when you say culture, obviously you say people. Obviously, we're split into so many regions across the globe, and the culture is in that country or in that team. It's hard to say like the whole company culture is the same everywhere, but it's the same in a way that, when people have to come together, you have a problem, you talk to your leader, you have a problem, you need a bit of flexibility, you need a bit of understanding. That happens everywhere. So it's not like it only happens in my office, or it only happens in my manager's team who's in the US. That overall culture, you can feel it everywhere, which is really nice.
We spoke previously on a podcast around the kind of company culture and how the company culture can really kind of foster your development. You also mentioned that leadership wasn't something that you maybe saw yourself doing, as a job. And I guess, again, that kind of comes down to the mentorship that you were getting from your colleagues around you. How do you think that we can get more companies to encourage women to get into leadership roles? And what can women, ourselves do to kind of get to a position that leadership is on that roadmap for them?
So I moved to England 6 years ago. When I worked in Romania and in other countries in Europe, I found that there are a lot more women in tech. So back, for example, with Oracle in my team, I had around 25, 26 engineers. It was always like a half-half. So half women,
Interesting.
half
Okay.
men. Up to when I came here, and I started recruiting, and I went through all the recruitment phases and everything, and having all these challenges with the recruitment team, and I was getting all these CVs, and I was like, where are the women? And I mainly recruited here in the Southwest, because I'm based in Exeter, and I want people to come here because we have an office. But then even when I extended to hiring in England or in the UK, I was still like, where are the women? So it was a bit of a difference for me. And I have, even from since Capgemini and Oracle, I have so many still very good friends, and people who either worked with me or worked in my team, like so many like strong technical women. And obviously they're either in Romania, or like they're in different parts of the world as well, just like I am. And I always tend to compare, like, why is it this difference, right? I guess especially like after COVID, I did see a more emphasis within, companies in the industry, local or not so much local, to have a more push to get to hire more women in tech. And I'm not quite sure if there's a secret recipe, or where do you start, or if there's more women who are interested to go into a computer science degree, or there's more women who, like, because to me personally, like within like the time I went to high school, because it's a different system than here in England, and then to university, like people would never have the idea like, do I want to work in tech? Do I want to work somewhere else? It was always, let's see what the journey brings, right?
Hmm.
But my favorite flavor was always around the like mathematics, physics, biology, chemistry. That's why I wanted to be a chemical engineer. But I'm not sure what secret recipe would be today for companies, we need more of a presence, like in our communities, in our local communities, to basically talk about this IT journey or the experience itself, but not to make it like super technical, because it's not all about this.
Looking at job specs, let's say, in a lot of cases, women are reluctant to apply for roles that they don't tick all the boxes for.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas men, on the other hand, will apply for those roles if they tick 4 of the 10. And I think that is a challenge for women. I mean, I'm definitely a culprit of that myself. It's
Mm-hmm.
about that, again, going back to the company culture thing. It's about how the company see potential in you, see your passion and your motivation to be able to develop in what they want you to be with those qualifications that hopefully
Mm-hmm.
they can put you on, which I guess stems from, having that kind of plan for them, and like training plan, whatever it may be, to allow these women to develop and kind of find their place in the
Mm-hmm.
industry as such. I guess your other role as well, being the STEM ambassador. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
So I've started as an ambassador before the pandemic. So it must have been like 2019. So I've run a lot of events with different schools. Obviously, working for Del Boomi at that time, it was a good name. It was a lot of things that we could talk about either together, myself or my colleague, or me by myself. And then one of my most favorites was after the first year of the pandemic, so it must have been 2021. I ran this little project with 3 new to become students. So they were during their A levels, I think they're called.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not used to the whole system here, just because it's so different from from Romania. That program lasted for 6 weeks, if I remember well. And I worked with three girls, which I really liked. All the advice around, what do they want to do next? What jobs are they interested in? What was my background? How did I find moving from my whole chemical engineer dream into the IT role? So it was a lot of questions from them, and a lot of, my life experience, like, how I dealt with some situations, and helping them with, like stress around the exams as well. It was really nice. And with 2 of them, I even had they said if I can help them with their CV, like, how to build it better for the type of job that they wanted in the future. So I helped them with that as well. And it was nice because it's like it takes you back in time, like maybe when you were at that age and you had all these questions like, what am I doing? Where am I going? What type of job is successful? What type of job is going to pay a
Mm-hmm.
lot? What is this whole tech business industry all about? So it was really helpful from both ends.
And I guess a lot of people, and myself included, I mean, I graduated back in 2018 now, I think it was.
Hmm.
I had no idea what I wanted to do. I know I wanted to do something relating to business and my degree, but I didn't quite know what that was. So the
Hmm.
fact that you're able to help and guide students to somewhat establish, what roles they may want to do or what
Hmm.
roles are out there, because I think I can speak for a lot of people that we don't know the jobs that are available. I
Hmm.
mean, even me joining the tech industry, I'm still learning new roles that are in the industry that I had
Hmm.
no idea about.
Even how to do a bit of research, like from, what's your pros and cons, like what do you think are like the strongest skills that you possess, right? Where do you think you would need a bit of, like, I don't know, more improvement, more self-training? And like compared to when I've started applying for jobs, and I know it was like, 15 to 16 years ago, but now it's so much information out there, it can be information overload. So you find some people that, like, I don't even know where to begin, like what do I what do I search? Where do I
Where do I
search?
start?
Where do I start?
Yeah, completely. I mean, going back to my previous, there was 6 graduates that started there. One of them did a history degree, one of them did a science degree,
Hmm.
I think one of them did a law degree, and they all ended up in the tech industry. So I think it's, encouraging for people that are doing their A levels or doing their university degrees, that if you haven't thought about tech, then
Hmm.
it doesn't mean you can't go into the tech industry.
Hmm.
There's a number of transferable skills that you can get from, even just going for the university experience. You've picked up so much knowledge about yourself,
Hmm.
to then put into kind of any role that you would really like to do.
And it goes back a bit to what you were saying earlier when you read a job description and you're like, I have no idea what this is. I have no idea. I don't even know what this term is. They put you off right then and there. And maybe
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be a change or a switch at some point with tech companies. For example, we had a program in Boomi when we recruit, we with the power of AI that we can use today, right? I can write the job description and I can put into this tool, and the tool will basically give me some options or like how I can change some of the wording to be, to be not appealing, but to be more easily understand by men and women and whomever wants to apply, not to be very, like strict and rigid. And if you don't have this like qualifications or skills that, if you don't know the acronym, you're like, what on earth is this? Right. So it kind of offers that, a bit of flexibility and not to make it again so rigid, and maybe put a bit of context around, like, is it an entry level job? Is it like a medium level job? What kind of are your requirements? What do we want in your package? What type of person you are and how we can invest in you and in your training and mentorship and guidance to get you to the point. How much time are we willing to invest? Is it 3 months? Is it 6 months? Is it one
Mm-hmm.
year? Like, to be a bit more, I don't know, worded in a way that becomes more and more. I mean, I say friendly to this new generation, and I'm not mistaken because we are different generations as well, right? From when I was 15 to how I see people today when they're 15, it's like, oh my God, what happened in
It's
in all
big
those years?
change.
Because that adds to the whole package as well, the difference.
Yeah, no, completely, completely. So just going back then to, I guess, your start of your career, and in the kind of the tech support line of work for
Mhm.
companies. How would you encourage young people to get into that kind of area and to kind of start there at the first line? Because as you mentioned, the first line is kind of the first step
Mhm.
in paving your career essentially. But
Mhm.
how would you encourage people to start there?
I would say it has a lot to do with how willing are you to like to push yourself, but to push yourself in like you have to dare, you have to be, not only open to what's out there. I think it's really important for for the young generation, for people who would want to start a career in IT, to have a bit of understanding of, I don't know, either to have it within their social group, either people that are doing this job or some sort of aspect of this job, because I think that that has a certain weight as well to kind of give them an idea, like, what is this about, right? Because it's
Hmm.
not all about, again, writing code, reading code, being a developer. No, there's so many roles out there that you can, if you're like a very good like people person and you're a very good communicator and you're a very good presenter and you can expand on those technical skills, right? You can be a sales rep, you can be an account executive, you can be a I don't know, a success rep, or I don't know, something that balances both worlds. If you have like people around you that work in either of this, technical roles or anything that has to do with the technical world, really knowing you as a person and what you can bring to the table, how much you're willing to accept, for again a company to invest in you and how they can shape you. But at the end of the day is all about like what you want from yourself, because some of them might step into a job like this, for example, like through an internship or apprenticeship or all these programs that are in place as well, and they might not like it. Am I going like into the, like a junior developer, let's see how it goes for 12 months, and they'll be completely resent it because, it's not for me. And then you tackle
Hmm.
something else. But just to be brave and dare that, if you found like this is not exactly what makes you happy or what is for you, try something else. Don't get demotivated. Or I don't know, that's my perspective. It's hard at the same time and not to tell someone, like, really know yourself what you like as well, because through this STEM program, we've done some events for, I think it was like age groups between 12 and 16. There's a lot of people who are very shy. They don't speak up. They don't ask any questions. And they just want, like I said, they want the secret recipe. That's hard. That's very hard, right? And especially now in the whole world of like research and like information being pushed in your face, there's nobody who can give you the secret recipe. Or if they can, I don't know. I haven't found them yet, but it takes a lot for what you have to give as well. Just put yourself out there. There's no perfect job that is going to come and knock at your door. You have to go out there. You have to confront whatever there is to confront out there, and challenge yourself, put you out there, take the risk.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Well, I think that's probably all we're going to have time for today. Thank you so much for joining. It was great to hear about your experience into tech and where you are today. And I think there's a few valuable things that people can take away from today. Is there anything that you would like people to take away? Is there one thing that you would want the listeners to take from this podcast today?
Find those people that you can learn from. Find those people that you can look up to, and later in life, if you get to thank them, like I get to thank many of my very close friends, who most of them are women. I've learned so much from so many badass women, in my career, that every time it's like it fills my heart with passion to go back and tell them I'm probably here where I am and the type of person that I am as well, and in this tech industry, because of you and you and you, and that's just it's just great. So be that sponge, absorb, learn, and always challenge yourself. And I know it's a cliche, like everything is possible. Not everything is possible out there, but the more you put yourself out there, like you said, and the more you're willing to take those risks, I think it's all going to work in everyone's advantage.
I'm definitely going to take some positivity away from this podcast.
Join me again next time on Spotify, Apple Podcast or YouTube to meet our next inspiring guest and to delve into their journey into tech.